What's up, guys? My name is Corey James, and today I wanted to dive into the mystery that is time travel. Now, in today's world, you can go online and find examples of time travel just about anywhere, from stories to pictures to videos. It's all out there. Is it real or is it fake? Well, that is the mystery I want to dive into today. I want to look at some of these examples that we have of time travel and try to decipher, is it possible? Could it be real? Or is this just science fiction, a figment of our imagination? Let's take that journey. Let's not waste another moment. Let's get to it. So, like any other mystery, before we can dive into the examples of time travel, we have to first come to the conclusion that it's even theoretically possible. And according to Albert Einstein and just about every other scientist out there, it is theoretically possible. Back in 1905, Albert Einstein published his special theory of relativity, which basically stated that space and time were not separate. They are one. He calls it space-time. And if you are able to travel through space fast enough, nearly the speed of light, you could theoretically slow down time for yourself, while for everybody else back on Earth, the time stayed constant. So traveling through space-time at that speed, 1 year would be 1 year. But for everybody back on Earth, it could be 100 years, maybe even 1,000 years, depending on how fast you're going. Further giving credence to the possibility of time travel, with the help of his longtime colleague and friend Albert Einstein and Dr. Nathan Rosen, came to realize that with the theory of gravity that unites space and time, space-time, this curves the presence of mass around it, which would allow for the possibility of what's known as an Einstein-Rosen bridge, or a wormhole. And in addition to Einstein's theory of relativity, we also have newer theories such as string theory, parallel universe theory, and while I do not have the vocabulary to articulate the nuts and bolts, the math of these theories, the basic gist is that yes, it is theoretically possible to travel from multiple points of time, multiple universes, different dimensions, if you will, and i.e. time travel, theoretically possible. So now that we have concluded that time travel is theoretically possible, we can look at some of the pieces of evidence, some of the examples of time travel with an open mind. We look at the photo known as the hipster time traveler. This is probably the most infamous, well-known, most scrutinized, and it is the photo that pretty much jump-started the whole time travel debate. When you look at this photo, it is very interesting and very intriguing, basically because this man stands out from everybody else in a way that you just wouldn't expect during this time. This was during the reopening of the South Forks Bridge in British Columbia, 1941. Experts say that these clothes were readily available. The logo on his shirt could simply be the emblem of a local sports team. The sunglasses, the haircut, the camera, yes, I get it. It's all available in 1941, but come on, really? This is 1941, it's not 2019. Do you have any idea how difficult it would be to come across all of these uncommon items, put it together in this style, in this look, and then show up at a 1941 bridge reopening? I mean, it doesn't make sense. What do you guys think? Let me know, leave comments below. Back in 2003, the FBI arrested a man who was basically accused of insider trading violations, making 126 stock trades and investing basically $800. Every single one of these risky investments and trade moves were successful, netting him $350 million. After Andrew Carlson was arrested by the FBI and questioned about these trading stock moves, he came clean and said, "I'm a time traveler from 2256. I knew what the stock market was going to do." Basically, took advantage of it. When they ran Andrew Carlson through their FBI database, they could not find any information about this man prior to 2002. A mysterious man about 6 months later shows up to pay his $1 million bail. Andrew Carlson is never seen from or heard from again, and to this day, the FBI have no idea where he went. In 1950 in New York City, Times Square, a man who just appeared in the middle of Times Square. Now, when witnesses saw him, they said he looked very confused, very scared and frazzled, and before you knew it, boom, he was hit by a taxi cab and killed. When officials went through his belongings, they found everything that you would expect to find from someone in the early 1800s, but these effects showed no sign of aging. Now, the items that they discovered included a copper token, a bill for the care of a horse and the washing of a carrot, and about $70 in old banknotes. Where things get really super creepy is when they looked up Rudolph Fentz and his address on his business card, 92nd Street, 5th Avenue, Manhattan, New York. They discovered that back in 1876, Rudolph Fentz simply disappeared, went missing, never heard from again. Back in August 2006, Håkan Nordqvist was in his kitchen when he heard dripping coming from his sink. Thinking there was a leak, he grabbed his tools and went underneath the cabinet to investigate. Håkan claimed that as he went underneath into the cabinet, he noticed the cabinet just kept going, like a tunnel, so he kept following it until he came to a bright white light, goes through the bright light, and he says he is teleported to the future, the year 2042, at which point he also claims to encounter his future self and takes a video of this encounter. He asked him questions that only he could possibly know, getting every question right, having matching tattoos in the exact same location. He knew it was his future self. We look at one of my favorite videos, and probably because growing up I was a huge Mike Tyson fan, watched all of his fights, but I never noticed this. When you look at a 1995 fight that he had against Peter McNeely, you see a spectator in the background holding up what looks eerily similar to a modern day iPhone. We look at the 1930s video of a woman walking out of a DuPont factory in Massachusetts, clearly looking like she's talking on a phone. Some people have speculated that it's simply a hearing device, but if you notice, she's the only one talking. Nobody else around her is talking or even seems to acknowledge her. We see the same thing from a 1928 film with Charlie Chaplin, The Circus. What appears to be a woman in a hat, a large jacket, just stops in the middle of this film, and it looks like she's talking on a phone. You can see her looking around, stopping, but clearly talking and holding her hand to her ear. So again, you have to ask, what are we seeing here? I'm not necessarily saying they're time travelers, but it's out of place. But again, this is all speculation. This is all conjecture because nothing can be proven. And unfortunately, because of the internet, because of social media, there are dozens of fakes and hoaxes that are very well done with CGI and Photoshop. So it makes it really hard to discern what's real, what's fake. That is going to be a wrap on this one, boys and girls. I sincerely hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, please help me out. Do me a favor. Hit that like button. If you like the content, hit that subscribe button. Keep coming back for more. Again, guys, I really appreciate you watching the video. I hope to see you again. My name is Corey James. I'll see you on the next one.